The Ahr Valley in western Germany. Today, it looks peaceful, with its famous wine, hiking trails and quiet villages. But just 5 years ago, this river was at the center of Germany's worst flood disaster in decades. In just a single night, thousands of homes were damaged and 135 people lost their lives here. Now, life seems back to normal, but small reminders of the flood are all around, raising the question, how are the people of the Ahr Valley searching for closure while still living through the aftermath? At the town church, I meet Armin von Ameln, who has lived in the valley for most of his life.
I was coming home when suddenly there was a loud roar, and then I was standing in water up to here. It happened so fast. That's when I knew this is a disaster.
As a practicing Catholic, faith helps him stay grounded.
This is how high the water was. The line is a reminder it could happen again.
He takes me to the nearby cemetery, which was also devastated by the flood. Now, rebuilt, the community hopes to honor the victims inside the restored chapel.
Helping one another, comforting one another, that is the most important task we have now. The more you talk about it, the better you can cope with a lot of things. If you keep it bottled up, it can lead to some very serious illnesses, especially mental health issues.
Dr. Katharina Scharping leads the Trauma Help Center in the Ahr Valley, which aims to support those in need.
When it rains outside, it immediately becomes a topic of conversation. A lot of people are afraid and don't leave the house anymore. Now it has shifted to existential concerns, financial worries, depression, increased substance abuse and bitterness. Also, when the reconstruction isn't going as expected.
She tells me that 5 years later, around 4,000 people here are still psychologically affected by the flood. And yet, despite everything, many people chose to stay and rebuild, even as experts warn that flooding in the Ahr Valley could happen again.
It was clear to us from the very beginning, we'll keep going. Childhood and everything spent here. That shapes who you are, that connection. Nobody can get me to leave here.
That feeling is echoed here again and again. But as the reconstruction continues, many physical traces of the flood are slowly disappearing. Researchers warn that over time, societies can begin underestimating flood risks, especially as memories of the disaster become more distant. Some German experts call this flood amnesia. Such fear of forgetting is partially why the Denk-Ahr Association is planning a permanent memorial at this site.
So outsiders can simply get a sense. If you picture a height of 4.5 meters, what would that be like? If you imagine it as water, I think it feels completely different.
In the marathon more than 20 years ago, I fell into a coma but woke up again and was allowed to live. The victims who lost their lives in the terrible Ahr disaster all wanted to live, but were not allowed to. That made a deep impression on me.
The group hopes to add 136 bronze stones to the large memorial for each flood victim in the valley, with the last one empty as a symbol for those who died of its consequences.
Above all, this has left an emotional scar on everyone affected here in the Ahr Valley. That will take a long time. The memorial helps us to keep remembering that this happened, even if the scars may no longer be visible here.
While some residents support the project with donations, others are less enthusiastic. Including a woman I met here. She told me, if you walk past this house every day, it's enough of a memorial. In the Ahr Valley, the search for closure continues along different paths, with many residents learning how to live alongside their painful memories. All this, of course, while the river flows on.